I want to ask you, how does it feel to not only be a fan of hip hop, but also a participant? Now that we're celebrating 50 years, like how does that feel to you?
I'm not a fan of hip hop. I know
Well,
that's like a weird thing to say. All
I
things
no
is that.
no, I get it because I was kind of trying to figure. I didn't like using that
Yeah,
word either, to be honest with
yeah,
you.
yeah. No, no, it's cool though. But I'm not
But
a
I,
fan of hip hop
mhm,
because I'm an artisan,
mhm,
and so the fanship part is not as much there as the artistic curiosity and the endeavor to learn more, and then like I said, those moments that the artist having and appreciating, like when I think of Chip Fool, and
mhm.
I'm like, yo, this dude is so brilliant. Like I think of a Twister, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this dude is so amazing, you know. Or when I think of a cat like Sugar Free,
Mm.
who is really a very underrated in the larger body of hip hop artists. This dude is amazing. He's been amazing for years in what he does. He just got a particular thing he on, and so depending on what your vibes is, you may not vibe with, boy. But when we just talking about, we just where the rubber meets the road, son, give it up.
Mhm.
And so I'm more into appreciating the art form as an artist. And so it precludes me from being a fan because there's times where I have to step away from the music entirely, especially when I'm being creative, because I don't want to be influenced unduly by
Gotcha,
anybody else's work. You know what I'm saying?
gotcha,
Because
gotcha.
I come from that era where, it's not even just biting is an issue, but just to striving to be original, striving to say something unique and special. That's a big deal, man. And so it's hard for me to ever over engage other artists, because also as an artist, there's a saying that says good artists create, great artists copy.
Mhm.
And I'm a great artist, and I don't want to ever be in a situation where I'm outright biting somebody because they done did something that I thought was dope. Like, I'll give you a great example. I got a particular lane. I'm very versatile. I can do any type of hip hop, right? I got this particular lane that kind of being more, I make hip hop fun. Like I'm into that. Like I'm not just, yeah, you're hip hop. It's
Right,
hip
right.
hop, put you in the face. It's like that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not on that time. I'm more on like, yo, I want to have fun. I like ciphering. I like appreciating what people doing. It's fun for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm.
into it, man. I bounce with it. And so, that's the kind of like the vibes that I'm on, and that's the like the energy that I be bringing to hip hop to enjoy it. But like I said, I got a particular steez that I'm on, right? But they got this new kid that's running around. He rock with Sugar Free. In fact, I think he go by Sporty Gotti, right?
Okay.
And he got this clip on it, and he rocking to Papa Was a Rolling Stone, do do
Hmm.
do 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 do. You know what I'm saying? And he just got
Sensation.
that. He just got that intro rocking, do do
Mm.
that, and he just on his pimp thing hard. I put them down for this thing. And
Right, 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 right.
he just hitting, yo. He just
Mm.
it's a lick, yo. It's a lick, and it's the kind of lick that yo, for like a week. Every morning I woke up and listened to that joint, but I refused to make any music during that week. Because I guarantee you, my song with the next
It
song I
would.
was here talking about, am I getting in? And it had been in my head, and I was like, nah, I can never do that.
Right, right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean?
So
So
maybe I should have, instead of saying a fan when it comes, because I don't consider myself a fan, to be honest with you either. I feel
yeah.
more like I'm just a participant of a culture. You know what
Yeah,
I
man.
mean?
Like
So
I feel like fan got. You know what it is? True fan, which is short for fanatic.
right.
Sometimes, which has been
Yeah.
popularly spin to be stan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we know that fan is short for fanatic, and it's like that has a negative connotation for those
Yeah.
of us. That's like, yo, I'm trying to keep my cool in this too, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely. Definitely. But
All right.
again, it must feel great to be someone that's not just watching this from the outside and actually being in it and
well,
celebrating 50 years.
again, not to be contrarian. I think that it feels great for me to be able to look my mother in the face, and my word is bond.
Mm.
My word is
Work.
bond. My mother
Work.
grew up in a group home. They used to put it in front of the class and make fun of her and say that she was dirty or that her dresses were too big because she would have to wear her older sister's dresses to go to school. They made fun of my mother. You heard?
Mm-hmm.
And her son travels the world. You heard? And rhymes and has impacted people's lives. And I was a social pundit on the BBC network, bro. Like I literally was, a talking head giving that work to
Mm-hmm.
college professors, giving them this hip hop debate, and was solid, yo. Like I wasn't coming on there talking, just talking silly, like solid, poignant bills, man. That as hip hoppers, you'd be proud of me to be on there. Like, yo, my brother did his thing, he repped to the fullest. You know how it used to be back in the day when somebody black get on TV or something like that, and they just rap. You be like, yo, he did his thing, like good interview. That's how I was doing. Right. And my mother, who watched BBC, listen to the show World Have You Say, she got to see that. She sees that. My mother did something ill. My mother-in-law just passed, last month or the month before. It's time burning up. Yeah, now I made more war, brothers. You know what I'm saying? Death is certain, man. This is certain. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that same spirit, my mother was in the spirit like, yo, I don't want to, I'm not leaving no inheritances for y'all. Because I don't want nobody to be living for me to die. But yo, I'm about to sell this house anyway because I'm getting older. I'm about to wrap it up. So I'm trying to be around y'all anyway. I'm gonna sell the house. I'm gonna gift y'all, some of the proceeds from this house sale. And this way we can all enjoy while I'm physically here to see what I gift to my boys, what we do, right? And so right now, I'm looking good, feeling good. But if you'd have caught me an hour ago, you just see me scruffy, hands ashy, clothes dusty, because I'm in my other studio, my new studio that I'm building. It's twice the size of the one I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? With that money, I want to show my mother. I always want to show my mother something great.
Right.
I want to the day she died. I want her to turn around and be like, "Yo, my son did that." So that hip hop was the means for that. To me, is what is amazing and beautiful, and I'm so thankful that I could be this MC and speak these words and I speak these spells and I have this impact on people. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I could sell this whole ill story about how dope it is to be downstairs at the concert venue and it's a whole stadium and 5,000-10,000 people in the audience. You hear them hooting and hollering and carrying on, and then they come down. UMCs are up next. UMC's up next. You, like that adrenaline goes through you. Feel like you got to go to the bathroom suddenly. And your heart start beating. You be like, yo, butterflies in your stomach. You and your boys getting in a circle. Y'all start to make your prayer. Whatever y'all think y'all do to align yourselves mentally to go down and kick ass and take names later. That's what y'all do. And they're like, yo, UMCs, y'all up. Y'all come up out your dressing room. Y'all pumped up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like y'all walking in slow motion. It's like the beginning of Belly and stuff when they was walking through the club. That's what it feels like. You just be walking like this, right? And people be like lined up on the hall, like along the hallways as you're walking to get to the backstage, or stage left or whatever. And you see some of the other artists that came off, and you ain't even seen them perform, but you could tell by the audience that they murdered it. Yo, I'm killing that, son. They be like, yo, do your thing, son. You like, yeah. And you try to keep it cool, like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, yo. Y'all go out there, you standing at the edge of the stage, you're looking at your mans or whatever, your team, and they looking at you like, yo, y'all kind of trying to peek out the back, like, yo. You don't want nobody to see you, but you want to see this audience because you want to see if people are really there. And you want to know why you're looking at that to see that they're really there, bro? Because in essence, you know that you're going to sing these rhymes that you wrote on the phone with your best friend. The rhymes that you wrote beating on tables in lunchrooms.
Right.
Yo, 5,000 people are waiting for you to sing those words that you wrote right back to you. You understand? And you're like, yo, here it is, right? And then your DJ or your sound guy, whoever it is that's doing your sound for you, your DJ's like, yo, y'all turn y'all up. The guys in that, yo, coming to the stage. Yo, you know them wild and crazy dudes. You know what I'm saying? They did the song Blue Cheese. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why everybody kept saying that, but for some reason, right? Yeah, I don't know. Right? And then, when the growing, like, yeah, hey, yeah, coming to the stage. One of my favorite groups from Staten Island, New York, UMCs. My DJ go out, boom, he get on the ones and twos, boom, boom, boom. The UMC, yo, you hearing your theme music come on, and it's like, yo, you get ready. The adrenaline's on 900. You understand what I'm saying? And yo, and then the come out on stage music comes on, your first joint, and you rush out on stage, and the crowd is screaming, and they're so excited to see you, and everything you ever worked for in that moment becomes real. And as amazing as that moment is, it would never hold a candle to the sound of my mother saying, "Go, Papo," that's my nickname, "Go, Papo," the first day that we went on our first trip to Texas with D Nice. You heard? And the limousine came out and pulled up in front of my buildings. My mother was on the terrace. This woman that was in a group home and laughed at, screaming for her son, who's on his way to being the number one rapper in the world at one point in his life. So yeah, that's that. I know that ain't quite the answer you expect, but that's the answer, my dude. That's the answer.
It might not be the one we expect, but it's the one that I'm glad you gave us.
Right, bon.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing that with us, though. I appreciate that.
All
I
right.
think, as a human side to hip hop that's rarely engaged.
Yes.
And if I may for a moment, when corporations took control of our culture, they did what corporations normally do, which is go to the very base and simplest denomination to sell, because industry and business is about sales and marketing. I mean, at the end of the day, and you can't knock anybody that's in that business and doing what that business requires. However, there's a perversion that's embedded in that. You know what I'm saying? When that happens, the hypermasculinization of black men, the bitchification of black women, the over materialization and perverted values for what success means. That's what the face of this music has become over the 50 years, sadly, sometimes.
Right.
So it's really important, if not for anybody else, but for me, to express that this hip hop is just as much getting on stage and tearing it down as thinking about your old moms that was sitting in her room watching the stories while you was in the living room with your MPC or your DJ equipment or whatever you had, and you be playing the same goddamn beat over and over and over for hours and hours and hours. And I would like all of you MCs out there and all you hip hop hopefuls out there and every one of you that ever had anything to do with this, and you know what I'm talking about, man, to take a moment as you listen to these words, man. And I want you to think about the person in your life. Yo, Sincere, you too, yo, because there's somebody in y'all lives that believed in you unequivocally and cheered for you and rooted for you silently with no expectation of thanks, never even really witnessing you at your greatness, because that thing wasn't their thing. It was you that was their thing. And I just like everybody that's watching, yo, because this is what 50 years of hip hop is about. To take a moment and think about those people in your life that cared enough about you and believed in you, and their belief, low key, made the impossible possible for you. That's hip hop too, y'all.
Yeah, it is, man. And thank you for sharing that, because me and Sincere actually just recently we had a conversation, because I think Sincere can agree, right? That his mom and my mom are probably our number one fans and supporters of what we do, man. Like,
Yeah.
I was just telling, like, my mother's like, man, I saw the other interview, man. You guys are so good. You guys are so good. More people need to see this, and more people need, like champion us, man. And right, Sincere, I was telling you, and then like I always see Sincere's mom, so thank you for sharing that, man, because
Nah, man, it's a
it
real
means
thing,
it
B.
means a lot.
It's a real thing, man. Yo, your reason why y'all talking to me right now, and and I'm not saying nothing against anybody, but I'm saying the reason y'all talking to me right now versus oh, whatever happened to Kool Kim type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm out here grinding and being relevant to the extent that I am is, yo, man, 3 years ago, 2 years, 2020, COVID's going down. I'm redoing the studio that I'm sitting in right now, which is a shed that I converted to a studio. And I grew up understanding like what we call them jailbird stories, where like a dude come home from prison and he gonna break down all of his elaborate plans. So what I endeavor to do is, now that I am home, I am going to endeavor upon facilitating an opportunity, whereas I can. You be like, some prison stories, son. You talking crazy, son. You know what I mean? Like, just do the work, son. Show me what you're gonna do.
Right.
I'd be very mindful of talking like that to my mother, where I would be just saying stuff in my, like I'm about show and prove to my mother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, I'm talking and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. She's like, look. She say, look, have fun, enjoy yourself. You're a good man. You literally built your house for your family. You raised them. You love on your wife. Go make music, man. Go enjoy yourself. She said, but keep it hip hop.
Dope. Mama's dope.
Keep it hip hop. So,
nice.
again, like there's no, and I know there's a lot of cats because, again, with hip hop, and this is one of the things that I would like to see in the next 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Let's work towards the humanization of this music. And I think that I love the work that you guys are doing, because it's important. It provides the platform for us to humanize who we are and what we do. Because here's one of the things that over these 50 years has been plaguing MCs, is that we're never off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Kool Kim. You're never engaging Kim Sharpton. I never turn off Kool Kim. To the point that I literally never turn off Kool Kim. I'm always Kool Kim. Even with my wife, I'm always Kool Kim. Not that that's not me, but I'm always in performance mode.
Right.
But the problem is, and this has always been a problem when he talked about violence in the music, we would always reference Arnold Schwarzenegger. But here's the thing. We always knew to call him Arnold Schwarzenegger. We didn't call him Dutch.
Right.
I mean, we didn't call him Dutch from Predator. You know what I'm saying? We ain't call him, T1 or whatever he was from Terminator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We called him Arnold Schwarzenegger because that's his government name. And what Arnold Schwarzenegger would do after he played the Terminator or any of the other characters that he played, he would go on what's called a press junket, and he would sit down with journalists as Arnold Schwarzenegger to talk about his amazing performance in the part of the mass murdering robot that killed off everything. When 50 Cent has a discussion, you're not having a conversation with Curtis Jackson. You're having a conversation with 50 Cent, and it never ends. And so the music and the art, it's not even art imitating life. Life never starts. It's just only art. And so what that has done, it has limited us, one, in the scope of conversation we can have. In the now times when, the economy of hip hop has changed, where now crowdfunding is sensible. You know what I'm saying? Things like having patrons, which is something that goes from the olden days. You know what I'm saying? A patron. Mm-hmm. But, all of these different means by which artists can survive and be working artists. A lot of brothers from our community don't even know where to begin because they have been in playing the role. They've been in character nonstop. And so if your character was, I get money, I'm that guy, I'm sleeping with all the fly girl, when do you ever break from that to be able to say, hey, look, I want to do a new project and I'm looking for you, all my fans, to help me crowdfund it. Rip, rap, blah, 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 blah. You need somebody to crowdfund it. Ain't you supposed to be getting stacks and stacks and packs and packs and racks and racks? Well, that's the song. Nah, son, that's what you always talking.
Right.
Now, if you was, Jason Richards, who we would know that Jason Richards is Jason Richards, and you just playing a part of so and so. So I think that again, like there's a lot of space for us to really reclaim, or not even reclaim, and also engage the humanity of hip hop. It's not just about being soft or sad or lovey-dovey. It's also about the trials and the real tribulations and the real challenges that we've all faced to reach the points that we have reached to whatever extent in our careers in this wonderful culture.
Right.